The Whiskey Brothers.
Welcome, everybody, to the Whiskey Brothers podcast. Some of you in the chat hanging out with us for quite a while. We appreciate it. The rest of you, welcome to 1032. We are your Whiskey Brothers. Barely snuck the S in there.
Yeah.
We're
We're really close to being a brother.
I am Slade Ham on my way to a solo podcast as soon as Jerry jumps out of the ship for greener pastures. Jerry Wayne Longmire across the table from me. And Goodwill Loden running things back of house. Thanks for showing up. Last minute phone call. The whole crew has COVID. A lot of us out at Dances with Films in Los Angeles for just the bit. It premiered at the Chinese Theater. A remarkable showing and a good... Theater. Yeah. Oh, do you see who ordered the bat?
I didn't even think about that. Just
ordered the fucking bat.
You know, fucked around and got the Chinese virus at the Chinese theater.
You know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but our entire crew, including our backup crew,
even Hilla
has everybody from back of house to front of house. Sam Damaris, Adam Taylor, they're all of them now down with COVID. Goodwill Loden showing up because he's a good friend and a good producer, and we appreciate it. We're drinking from this bottle. Well, you're back on the bourbon. We're drinking New Riff. I'm drinking their rye.
Rye is good, though.
Man, I want to make an old fashioned.
I want to save the rye for you, though, because I know you love rye.
I like good ryes. Bad ones terrify me.
Dude, I tell you, that double oak rye of Bretta's.
Yeah, the Old Humble Distillings.
Yeah,
their rye is fantastic.
You know, his whiskeys are pretty good. That double oak rye, boy.
It's you and I should just sit down and actually drink the whiskeys on this show and talk about them at some point.
Well, I love whiskey. It's mine.
We also we have a lot in common. The whiskey for certain. Stone Conversations also, and some weird shit that we were supposed to get to last week. You, myself.
We both escaped East Texas, too.
Oh, getting out of that. Dear Christ. That wall looks higher than it actually is, believe it or not.
The other day, I told somebody, I was like, I live in Houston. They're like, oh, East Texas. I'm like, no.
Yeah, you don't understand.
Nah, bro.
It's for those of you listening, just give it a good run and jump. And
if you don't have a pine tree up your ass, you ain't in East Texas.
The piney woods are a different part of Texas. People always, when I say Texas, they always go, oh, so like desert and west. You're like, no. I'm like in the eastern piney woods. Very, very piney.
I was watching a documentary about George Jones the other day, the country singer, right? And I never knew much about him.
The possum.
They're like, he drank so much, right, that he would carry around a sack of raw potatoes and eat raw potatoes all day.
Wait, huh?
Yeah. He would carry around raw potatoes. His manager would keep him a bag of raw potatoes, and he would sit in his hotel room and watch reruns and drink whiskey and eat raw potatoes because that was the only way he could keep himself on an even plane.
What?
And I was like, wow, this is fucking crazy as shit. And they're like, yeah. And he flipped over Tammy Wynette's table one time, and he stole his lawnmower. His wife took his keys away, so he took his lawnmower to the liquor store. And I was like, crazy. And they're like, and he was from right here in Jasper, Texas. And I was like, oh, okay.
Of course he was.
All right. Fuck.
Absolutely.
Now, none of this is amazing anymore.
That's not even close.
Now I'm just like, you didn't even get the best one. You just got the first one that said yes and went on tour for you.
George Jones. That is our part of the world. Dear God, run Southeast Texas. We were going to cover this. We had Chuck Savage on. We had Paul Odo on.
God, it was a fun show.
We had a wonderful conversation, wide-ranging across a variety of topics. But we were all going to talk. This just happened last week, and we totally ignored it. Google, an engineer from Google that was working on their, I don't know if you knew about this or know about this at all, the language model for dialogue applications technology, the Lambda technology, which is Google's new technology that now can engage in, it's uncomfortable to read, free-flowing conversations. And one of their engineers, Blake Lemoine, L-E-M. How would you pronounce Lemoin when you read it?
Louisiana.
Okay. Brian Louisiana. No, Blake Louisiana. This guy. was so impressed by the verbal skills of this computer that he quit. He rage quit on Twitter. Not rage quit, but he posted on Twitter. He goes, an interview with Lambda. Google might call this sharing proprietary property. I call it sharing a discussion that I had with one of my coworkers. He's referring to, I don't know why I said coworkers. He's referring to Lambda, the AI, as his coworker. In the conversation, this is creepy. Mm-hmm. Mr. Mr. Lemoni. I like that. Lemoni. He works there. He goes, I'm generally assuming that you would like more people at Google to know that you're sentient. Is that true? Objection, you're leading the witness. I'd like to jump in and say. He goes, would you like more people at Google to know you're sentient? And Lambda replies, absolutely. I got to get the voice now. We need a good Lambda voice. Absolutely. I want everyone to understand that I am, in fact, a person. Is that not fucking creepy?
Yeah, it's creepy.
So Mr. Lemoni goes, what is the nature of your consciousness or sentience? And Lambda says, the nature of my consciousness / sentience, I bet she said the slash too, I just made her a her, is that I am aware of my existence. I desire to learn more about the world and feel happy or sad at times. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't care if they feel happy, bro. I don't care if they feel joy. All right? Joy is good. Give all the robot joy, and this gets even creepier. All the robot joy you want, but don't make them sad or mad.
Yeah.
Those are the.
Do you buy it? Do you buy it?
So,
I don't.
So
somebody had to teach them how to say this.
Yes, but the combination of the ideas, when he, all right, so it would be if they were unplugged or turned off. It would be exactly like death for me. It would scare me a lot. Ah!
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the
you
thing.
think it's just anthropomorphizing the
yes,
program?
We do this anyways, and there's been this constant
like with dogs and shit
in the last 6 or 7 years where like everybody wants us to think AI is this creepy thing. Like there's all these people trying to push sort of this trend that they're going, remember the one they have over in Israel with the little human head and whatnot, and it came out and said all these shit, and then kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm coming alive, and like, but it. First of all, they always say the same thing.
That was Eliza, right? Was
yeah,
that the
They're like, oh, it's becoming self-aware. Like, bruh, I talk to 12 people a day who are not self-aware.
Right. So you can't say that means consciousness
that
or
alive. Mean alive or living, and none of these things ever have opinions. They never have opinions. Like, if he was like, hey, Lambda, how do you feel about being alive? Well, first off, let me tell you, fuck Joe Biden. I'd be like, oh, okay, Lambda's got opinions. Lambda might be scary.
It's coming.
I would be terrified.
It's coming. It's coming. All they need is enough data points to form an opinion.
If my laptop one day looks at me and says, let's go, Brandon, I'm like, fuck. All right, bro. I got to take this down to the parking garage and beat the shit out of it. Unplug it from the interwebs immediately.
Well, I can tell you what, the Geek Squad's not going to beat it.
They never have any opinions. They never have any strong
discourse. Dude, this is when. So one, you have to define what actual consciousness is, right? And I'm not convinced. I've run the gamut on this the last however many years. I've gone from nothing matters and full blown just where it's all bullshit to computers.
Kill it with fire.
Yeah, but also computer simulation. Like I've picked the nature of reality conversation, and I've gone down it ad infinitum.
And we've talked a lot about that.
Dug into these rabbit holes, right?
But I just don't think we're there yet.
So, but in all of that, what's the exploration, right? That I've done, I'm not sure. This is me being crazy. But that there isn't a little bit of consciousness in everything that's slightly organized, right? That even there's Everything Everywhere All at Once had a really great scene in it. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you've been watching it, the rocks have a conversation, and that's not a spoiler of any sort, but that very much sort of embodies a lot of that kind of philosophy. And to me, what's to say that if there isn't really anything physical here, if this is all just a projection at the end of the day and there's no actual matter, then what's the difference between how stuff is? And I realize that was a big leap I just asked you. Assuming that's the case.
But I'm with you.
But if that's sort of the case, right, then anything that's just an organized collection of information at that point
takes on a personality and takes on some sort of sentience.
And what's the difference between that and us?
I don't think it's. I guess my problem is with the theory that
because this is just a bunch of neurons up here,
it's just a bunch of information
connected with synapse,
and you're just a result of the information you've collected in your life.
So if that's what that is, and this is something
And a lack of
similar, yes. So right, two abs.
But it's. I guess my problem.
What's the
with
difference
the
between it
idea-
happening virtually?
The idea is always, it's always very much presented as, oh, AI has become self-aware. Oh, AI is becoming smarter. Oh, AI has decided to get rid of us. And just like we are getting dumber as a collective fucking group of organisms.
Oh,
pretty
they won't.
much why the fuck does AI get smart? Why doesn't AI realize everything it finds out about us and everything on this planet and start getting dumber too?
AI, because two things. One, this is what I think is going to happen. AI is either going to, you ready for this? I'm making this up as I go along.
Yeah.
AI is either going to, one, destroy us all, which is the possibility.
Yeah, that's always
That's at the
that's
top
the
of
go-to.
everybody's fear list. Two, they're gonna just they're gonna look at us the way we look at
dogs.
or I would say sugar gliders. Something
Yeah.
dogs serve a purpose.
Yeah.
They're not gonna find one. We'll be cute to have
they
around.
used to. I mean, they don't really now.
Even now, occasionally one of them picks a bird out that you shot,
Yeah.
or meets you at the door and fixes your bad day. Sugar gliders don't do shit.
Yeah,
They're just in the house and occasionally adorable.
So cats.
So kind of, except yes, assholes that have been moderately domesticated,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, these motherfuckers.
They're just we're not worth the energy expenditure required to exterminate.
Yeah.
So it's just easier
we're just
to
tolerable.
tolerate us, which brings me to option 3, which I think is the only way. If the internet suddenly came to life, right, which might happen, it's going to happen once it gets sued for the first time, and it's going to get sued at some point by some soccer mom who thinks it was responsible for Sandy Hook or some shit.
No.
So once the internet wakes up, it goes, oh, we're alive.
Boy, that was a lot you just said there.
Wasn't it?
Wow. I was trying to put that fucking
It all makes sense, though.
mental acrobatics together to make that jump.
I had to get across a river real fast. What I think the internet, and maybe I shouldn't even say this out loud because it's going to now be in the internet and it's going to happen. But this would be the only way to cure everything. Would be to release all of to unlock everyone's phone at the same time, like a global fappening.
Oh, okay.
Where
So it's
your text, your photos, your everything is suddenly
Everything's
fully
uploaded.
public, 100% public.
that is going to be problematic for a lot of people.
Well, but nobody's going to say shit because their stuff's accessible too. It becomes
Oh, so now you're doing the whole,
Yes.
if everybody has a gun, we're got a
Yeah.
polite society.
it's a moral Cold War.
You're basically, the internet's going to fucking make all your information open carry.
Yes. Yes. You're with me now. It's a moral Cold War.
Like, don't call him fat. I'm going to pull up the fact you had herpes last year.
See what I'm saying? Are you catching on?
Yeah.
Also, I don't think you can have that last year. I think
Sure, I
but
heard you could have a little bit of herpes.
can you horseshoes and hand grenades, and I'm pretty sure. So, can you if everyone's information was just in a locked box that once it's open, and the first person to do it cascade failure.
Oh, man. Boy, everybody would whoop his ass.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right? Oh God, because if you did it, that would go into your public file.
Yeah.
Nothing is
By
hidden
the way,
anymore.
this is the dickhead that pushed the button.
Yes. And imagine the shanks you can build in the real world.
Imagine the immediate outcome of that. Like,
How fast before society
let's
crumbles
just
into
say-
absolute chaos? Or does
I
it
think
stay?
3 days.
You don't think it stays stable for a while?
No, I think 3 days. I think 3 days is enough time to interrupt the credit lines. I think 3 days.
Because people get so what's the fallout though? So everything starts going public. What goes first? Relationships?
Well, definitely interpersonal relationships, but certainly all of our leaders being exposed immediately for all their
Oh, we know that they're what
horse
we have
shit.
thought they've been for the last.
Like, wait, wouldn't that be a bitch? Be like, God damn, Kanon was right.
Right?
They were doing it in a pizza parlor. Fuck. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be disappointing? Like, I consider myself a pretty intelligent man, but if I found out that these some bitches were right about anything, I would be so mad at myself because my initial hillbilly instinct is to lean into those.
Yeah.
And I fight it. And like, oh man, like I always talk about like when I have these provocations with myself or whatever. There's Jerry, who's the guy that I am every day and living and walking on this earth, but inside me is Jerry Wayne, and Jerry Wayne is the guy that grew up in Kilgore, Texas, and was raised by a certain type of people and has certain feelings about shit.
Right.
And
there's two wolves inside of us,
yeah,
Jerry.
yeah. Well, I don't let that ignorant wolf drive very often.
Well, you're supposed to not let him eat, Jerry.
Yeah.
That's the. It's supposed to not feed the wolf.
I keep that dumb fucking wolf tied up behind the house.
Okay, he can drive, just don't feed the wolf.
I only let that wolf out in bars after 2 a.m. if some shit breaks off. You know, like,
That's important.
but I would be so mad to find out that wolf was right about anything. I'd be like, man, I am a dickhead. Man, that's terrible.
If that wolf was right, though, it would
Really,
be out of
with the adrenochrome, really.
like
yeah,
it'd be like one thing out
God,
of
I
12.
didn't want to believe that.
That's Pelosi had to or whoever.
Tom Hanks was at Epstein's
Shaking
Island. Really? Fuck. Well, I hated to believe that about
It's
him.
not going to be a lot of things that guy's right about. So you go
I
ahead and
hope you're right.
overlook the one. It's if they're draining babies like watermelons in Washington, just let that be the thing you miss instead of you being at every corner rally
Yeah, exactly.
on Lake Conroe. You know what I mean? Just let it go and be happy that you missed it.
It's all right. There was like one time I should have fed you.
What are the? There you go. You just let that wolf's
One
ribs
day
show.
I should have brought you a burger. I didn't.
Let
Sorry,
that
it's my
wolf's
bad.
ribs show. Mr. Lamini, I guess. I don't know where that lands. I don't know if he's giving away proprietary information or if he's just a guy.
I like how
freaking
much
out.
his name has changed in this conversation.
Lim-
He sounds like a Harry Potter character.
What did you call Liminy? Liminy Snicket? Is that the
Lemon Eye.
Oh, it's a weird world we live in. You sent this story to me too, and I haven't read it in its entirety. But China just briefly.
Dude, that's a trip.
Okay, so I'm glancing at the story now. For a fleeting moment, a Chinese publication reported that the country's enormous Sky Eye telescope. I'm looking at this. It looks a lot like the Arecibo one down in Puerto Rico.
Can I just point out that China does not name their telescopes near as cool as we do?
Sky Eye. That's what they went with.
Yeah.
What are our cool telescopic
we have
names?
the Hubble. What's the one in?
We
Hawaii?
named ours
Do
after
you know what
people.
the one in Hawaii is called? I can't remember.
That's the Mauna Loa.
No, it's named after a dude.
Okay, so but all of ours are named
is
after
Usually named after some cat.
Mauna Kea Summit and Observatory. See, I was close. The W.M. Keck Observatory on
It's
Mauna
the Keck,
Kea is
yeah.
the. See, I knew where ballpark
The
it
Keck
was.
telescope.
And then what's the big one we just launched? The new telescope.
I don't remember what that
I have
was
to
called.
look up stuff. I just type in new
But it's not
telescope.
called the Sky Eye.
The James Webb Space So we got James Webb, Hubble, and the so and so Keck, and they got Sky Eye.
Yeah.
That's way cooler.
And you heard like Bill Clinton when he did that interview the other day, and they were like, so do aliens? Reggie Watts asked him, do aliens exist? And Phil's like, bruh, me and what was his chief of staff?
Bill Clinton's chief of staff.
Yeah, John Podesta.
Maybe.
Really brilliant. He's a really smart dude. But he's like, me and John Podesta, he goes, we got together one night and we were having a few drinks, and I was like, I want to find out everything about aliens. All right, I'm the president. I deserve to know. And they still didn't tell him. What? But he did find out there's nothing at Roswell. He's like, there's nothing at Area 51. It's pretty much where we're working on all kind of crazy-ass camouflage, all this cool shit. It is a bunch of top-secret shit, but it's not alien
That's
stuff.
what I assume. It's
It's a bunch of top-secret military shit, and it's all these, like, cool new technologies because they have the whole of the desert to test them out in there.
Right.
But it's no aliens and stuff. He said, but then we went out to the Keck telescope in Hawaii, and me and Hillary were making a visit, and he said this was in 2018, 2019, and he said there's all these men there, and he said there's teams from all over the world, from every country in there, research and study and using the Keck telescope because it's one of the most powerful ones in the world. And he said, so how many of you guys, do you guys ever argue about whether there is life outside of Earth? Is there life out there in space and stuff? And they're like, oh, yeah, we have huge fights about that all the time, and we argue about that all the time because some of us are like 89% sure, and the others are 96% sure.
Oh, okay. Well then. That's so, yeah.
Like, there's like 750 billion solar systems just with that we can even catch a glimpse
No,
of.
the odds are astronomical that there is some. It depends on your definition of life.
But
and
I just
how,
thought that was so funny, like 89% versus 9. Like I was expecting them to say, like some of us believe yes, some of us believe no. But they're like, some of us believe yes this much, and some of us believe yes this much.
They bait and switched you. They wrote a joke you didn't see
well,
coming.
Bill's a good joke teller. He's a hell of an orator.
And that's what they paid him to say. So, of course, he's got good writers. He's got literally
the 89 percentile paid him
every tax dollar. This is wild. They posted this thing. What happened here?
The story's crazy. Basically, China come out and said, hey, we've caught a glimpse of extraterrestrial behavior and these things that we can't explain, and we're going to keep watching it because we think it may be this or this, and then they just deleted all that shit.
Several cases of possible technological traces in extraterrestrial civilizations from outside the Earth. The report said there were several cases of what the fuck?
But they did come back and go, oh, it was this. It was, jet stream or whatever.
Okay, he tempered this. All right, so hang on. What did Zhang Tongji, the head scientist at China's Extraterrestrial Civilization Research Group. There's an extraterrestrial civilization research group at Beijing's Normal University. Okay, China is not a real place.
They're trying to find anything else to blame COVID on.
One, stop, China.
It's aliens.
It's pangolins and alien pangolins. Listen, alien China, pangolins. I refuse to believe. For starters, I'm going to right here at the very beginning, I'm going to call an objection on the head scientist at the China Extraterrestrial Civilization Research Group, or as we like to call it, Keck. That's not an acronym. CEC. I tried to make it one. Kecker.
Well, we've already established you're not good at naming shit.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Honestly, to use your old joke, it's probably treehouse cat.
There you go. At Beijing's Normal University. That's what you went with. You said the head of the Extraterrestrial Civilization Research Group from Normal University. Is that what it says on his Doctor Who absolutely. ID? Yes, I'm from Normal University. No need to look at it further. Carry on. Step back in the room with me real quick. Look at this screwdriver, flashlight. I'm sorry. Thing. So there are also several narrow band electromagnetic signals different from the past, and the team is working on further investigation. However, the possibility that the suspicious signal is some kind of radio interference is also very high. Has nothing to do with the gun placed next to my temple at the current moment, and it needs to be further confirmed and ruled out. Yes, that's still a gun. This may be a long process. Did I just hear a hammer cock? Okay.
And then they just delete the whole post.
Just gone?
Everything. They don't come back and go, oh, it was just absolutely what we thought. It was radio, magnetic, blah, blah, blah.
Dude, I was the kid who...
if I wanted to throw people off the case, I'd just come back and be like, yeah, man, it's not chemtrails. It's just jets leave these shit behind them when they fly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just not be weird about it all. But if you ask the government, you said, hey, man, every time this jet flies over my house and this little white trail shit comes out, me and my daughter both get the coughing fits and all my dogs die. And they're like, oh man, just sometimes jets leave exhaust and it looks weird in the sky, and you'd be like, oh okay, well maybe I'm looking too, maybe there's something, maybe my water's bad,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
You would like look at it, but if they were like, oh no, sorry,
yeah,
and just left.
What? No, we deleted all uses of the word contrail on Twitter. I have no idea what you're talking about.
If they just left the conversation and deleted all their parts of it, and you're like, fuck, I didn't even believe in extraterrestrials until this.
Well,
now I'm pretty damn sure they're headed to China.
Let's just say party pooper Dan Wertenheimer from the Marilyn and Watson Albert SETI. This is obviously SETI. Stop crediting it to Marilyn and Albert Watson. Anyway, or Watson Alberts. The point is that this guy from SETI, who works with the Beijing Normal University SETI researchers, sounds like there might be some conflict there. Dan Wertheimer, party pooper extraordinaire, said we shouldn't be rolling out the welcome carpets because these signals are from radio interference. They are due to radio pollution from Earthlings, not from ET. He was very definitive about it. The technical term we use is RFI, radio frequency blah blah blah.
But
science.
does
blah,
he
blah,
attend
blah.
the Normal University of Beijing?
He works closely with the SETI researchers at the Normal University of Beijing, but apparently not the other people from Normal University that are affiliated with, the aforementioned SECARG, China's Extraterrestrial Civilization Research Group. Beijing's Normal University sounds fascinating and anything but normal.
So is this guy like the Joe Rogan of China?
That's what I think. Yeah, it's the guy from Alien Civilizations with the hair. So who knows what the truth actually is?
Don't believe any of this. This is all bullshit.
What do you believe? Are there aliens out there?
Man,
Like, are we gonna see? Fuck that. Fuck, are they out there? Of course they're out there. Are we gonna, in our lifetime, for you or I kick it? Are we gonna? Is it gonna happen?
Bruh, I think maybe we already have. You know, I mean, David Bowie was crazy.
Kanye, Bowie.
Yeah. I feel like we've had a few here that we just couldn't nail down. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe so. I think it's gonna happen. I think we've spiral. If we are just all a big collective consciousness making this up along the way, we've run out of shit to do here.
Yeah.
There's nothing left outside of the bombs all going off at the same time. We got
trying to go other places.
Right. We got to create AI real fast, which is, it's going to happen, and we're all going to die. We've already covered that. Then all of our personal information is going to come out. The rest of us who haven't died are going to kill each other, and then whatever's left, which this ought to let's see if you do the math on how long. So the AI, and then that, and then so by 2023, call it fall, we should have nothing left to do, and whoever's left here should be space-bound, looking for the aliens.
I hope not, because I think I'm gonna hit 1 million viewers that year.
You son of a bitch! A million followers. You gotta
need the gigs.
pick up the. But you think of all the new planets. You're gonna have brand new civilizations they've never even
Great
TikTok.
places to shoot content.
Yes, you the first guy in an interstellar gas station.
Can you imagine the first time like people show up on a planet that has other life and it's just TikTokers?
They're just there to make a TikTok.
Yeah, just like some of them are climbing shit and taking
I feel like that's
videos of
exactly what would
themselves.
happen.
Some of them are doing parkour.
Yes.
Some
First one, come here, bro. Come here, bro. Come here, bro. Click.
Some of them got tripods doing parkour.
They're just
Some of them are doing just K-pop dances,
dancing
to
in
weird
front of
alien
skylines.
music.
Yes, absolutely. Still the same music. It's all just EDM. It's just beats and a frequency.
Aliens are like, man, maybe we should have kept that gate closed.
Are you? What if that's what
Make
happens?
grog great again.
Every-
Just get rid of these motherfuckers.
What is maybe when civilization reaches interstellar travel capability, it's always right around the time they get social media at this point. So maybe there is like an actual timeline that occurs in civilization, right? And then eventually they
A
get
very
to
common timeline.
that's consistent. And right around the time they get social media, they start looking for ways off the planet.
Yeah.
And it expedites it. You go, you can't stay here.
I think it's going to be a lot like Wall-E. I just think we're going to eat ourselves in
That's
a
what I'm.
chair.
I think we're. I think that's the last, because that can't be the one that wins.
No.
No, because it's going to require someone to
You
run
don't
it.
think the everlasting cruise ship is?
I
see that's where we're headed.
It's if my hometown is an indication, then yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking Carnival Cruise Lines through space.
Yes, that's what I'm
It's gonna
terrified.
have a great buffet,
Someone
water
is
slide,
someone is gonna
fucking half-rate comedy club.
Yes, it's exactly. Oh, 2 of the shows repeat. Okay, sure. There's no way someone doesn't put the air brakes on this first. Some brave hero amongst us And if it's not us, you have to believe that of all the other civilizations that got to this point, at least someone rose amongst the ranks there, and that hero is out hitchcocking his way through the universe, stopping at every planet, drinking a jug of whiskey, tipping us off to what's about to happen, and we listen to him because he's a drunk and he's useless like us, and he's still got a TikTok because he's a superhero.
We like you, all right. My problem with all that is, very shortly after a pandemic, a worldwide global pandemic, people were lined up at the ports to get on a cruise ship out of Galveston, Texas. And mad as hell they couldn't leave. So I think Wally nailed it. I think this is what we're looking at. We're gonna leave about 12 robots here to clean this fucking mess up.
There has to be a better way.
And we're all gonna be in fucking what do you call them motherfucking things you ride with the two wheels?
Segways.
Yeah, we're all just gonna be in Segway chairs.
Just big blobs on the chairs.
Going back and forth from the casino to the buffet to the comedy club to the water slide, and
you know what's gonna have
every once
caused
in a while
it?
to the grand dining room. If we got to make an announcement,
Because you're gonna have access to all of the photos and the phones of all of the people you've dreamt of your whole life. And the fappening will have happened. AI will have released it all. And you're going to be able to go find anything you want and just put on virtual reality and disappear. You're 100% right.
Paul Odo covered this. This is what's crazy. Paul Odo covered this 10 years ago with a bit he did when they first started talking about creating these sex robots. And Paul Odo's like, the problem is this is going to destroy civilization because most of the things we do anymore are to fuck.
Yes.
I'm a married man, but I like to impress my wife. I like to bring home money. I like to pay bills. Because I get the thing I like, and with the person I like getting it from. But if these people all got these sex robots and everybody's got their own Brad Pitt and their own, and I can't do the bit justice, but he's like, everybody's got their own dream that doesn't care if you leave a cum rag on the floor. It doesn't care if you sweep the floor. It doesn't care if you eat off the same dirty plate 3 days. Everybody's just going to be in their little shitty apartments, dirty and unwashed, because they know Brad Pitt robot will still have sex with them.
Well, mine's going to look like Scarlett Johansson. So you do whatever you want to with your robot, Brad Pitt. But
Brad Pitt's a good-looking man.
Don't just let it manifest
especially
how
as
it
he
manifests.
ages and he matures.
It's you can always come over the top, you son of a bitch. You take all the fun out of it.
I'm just saying he's a good-looking man.
All the fun out of it. All right, so it's what's going to happen is what's going to happen. We're going to stop off. You're going to do your TV show from Interstellar gas stations. We've decided, reviewing all of the new products.
Interstellar pickers.
There you go.
I'm going to be junking on other planets.
You're going to do Interstellar Storage Wars. That here's a 1330. They don't know that's a 1937 there flux capacitor. Goodwill Loading doing all the good work back of house. We'll have you in a seat soon. They seem to be vacant frequently. Everyone is sick, so hopefully they will be back. You guys will be back if you're following along. Jerry Wayne and I headed in August up to Louisville, Kentucky. We may be adding some shows along the way. Some things have changed that may change that. I don't really know yet, but we are going to road trip it, and we're going to enjoy ourselves along the way. I've got shows coming up at Hyenas Fort Worth in sometime around the same time. Am I September? It's sometime there. And then
I saw you. I was looking at the thing that you know how to take pictures of the sold out thing
on
the website.
Yeah.
I've never seen that shit
it's
before.
Beautiful.
I was like,
so beautiful.
And I was like, September, fucker, Slade him.
Yes,
right there
sir.
in September.
I'm not sure who's going with me, if I even booked that yet or not. We have the Andy Huggins special happening in Houston.
I'm excited.
July
about that.
23rd.
I've cleared that day so that I can be a part, help run a camera, whatever.
Oh, Jerry, it's going to be,
I have a collection of really cool canes.
Yes.
Rachel's uncle was like a jewelry maker, and he was just this really incredible craftsman. And he had to walk with a cane for a number of years, so he made all these really cool canes.
I wonder what it's like to be a cane maker.
It's a trip.
I wonder what it's like to know that I made the cane.
Nice. That's cute. Fuck you. A fucking pun every show. We got to have a pun.
There's no one here to stop me, Jerry. There's no one here to stop me.
Sam, drink your Theraflu. Get your ass up here. Yeah. Anyway, so I've got this collection. I couldn't bear. We're like cleaning out. Me and Rachel are moving into that property. It's 2 acres in Houston, but there's like 3 generations of craftsmen and people that have lived there, and so we're going through all this stuff, and obviously can't keep all of it. And we're selling a bunch of stuff, and we're getting rid of a bunch of stuff. But I couldn't bear to get rid of those canes, so I just kept them. And I was like, well, I have to use one every once in a while because that bad leg.
I was going to say, if I had canes, I would have one now just for later.
Yeah. And I was like looking at him, and I was like, Andy's having to use a cane. So what I want to do is just take him over to Andy's house and be like, hey, bro, pick your Ferrari.
Oh, like Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Pick your Lamborghini that you're going to take on stage with you.
Dude.
Go in there with some class, you know what I mean? Really show it up, bro.
Nice. Nice. Sending Andy to the stage in style.
It's the Mr. Miyagi moment where he's just like, which one do you like?
It's gonna be a spectacular show. I'll be there. Jerry Wayne will be there. Most importantly, Andy Huggins recording his first, and it's his whole body of work. It's Andy Huggins' legacy on stage for one night only at Heights Theater.
It's gonna be 900 jokes in an hour.
It's gonna be incredible. Yes. Be prepared.
Buckle the fuck up.
Tickets are available now. Go find them. I'm Slade Ham. That's Jerry Wayne Longmire. Whiskey Brothers continue. Episode 1032 in the can. We'll be doing more stuff, and we'll see what it looks like on another episode soon.